Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar, Revolutionizing Customer Support, Embracing Continuous Improvement with Godlan Navigate. That was a lot of words, but in an age where customer expectations are constantly evolving, providing exceptional support, it's no longer an option. It has to be a differentiator. It's a necessity. And to stay competitive, organizations need to adapt, they need to innovate and continuously improve their support strategies, which is what Godlan has done over the last 12 months. My name is Garrett Kramer. I'll be your host today. I know I speak for myself and for our guests that we are excited to fill you in on some of the transformational changes we've made over the last year here at Godlan. First, you may be asking yourself, what the heck is Navigate? Good question. I'm glad you asked. In short, Navigate is a proactive services collaboration program that Godlan built to truly partner and better serve our customers in the rapidly changing world of technology. We walk with you over time to make your technology a strategic asset instead of just a necessary expense. We'll dig into more about what that means and how that plays out week over week over the next 45 minutes here. Today, we're going to have a discussion hopefully with 3 current Navigate customers. We're having a little technical difficulty, but we definitely have one here. They're going to talk about their experience with, Garrett's going to talk about his experience with the Navigate program. And our hope here is that you're going to hear about the program that we've made, the positive impact it's having on some of our customer relationships, their technology, and most importantly, their business operations. Before we get started, let me just take a few minutes to introduce. We have 3 incredible guests, and I'm going to introduce all of them in hopes that we can get the link figured out and get the other 2 in here. But first, let's start here. I have the privilege to share the mic with 3 great people who I've just grown to love and admire. First, she puts the dynamite in dynamic, the details in detail-oriented, the super in super using. Please join me in welcoming the Director of Information Technology at Cottrell Trailers, Miss Hasna Osman Stedman. Now, Hasna's not here. You can see that clearly, but we're hoping that she gets here. Actually, she is here. All right, Hasna, you're here. That's great.
I'm here. I'm driving.
Garrett.
That's why you can't see me.
Okay, awesome. Well, it's great to have you, Hasna. I appreciate you being here. All right, second, she specializes in professional chaos management. She is a project completing machine and recently led her company through an upgrade. Now listen to this, from Cymex 4 to Cloud Suite Industrial 9. Yeah, you heard that right, Cymex 4. She holds a bachelor's degree from Jacksonville State, enjoys reading, traveling, and antiquing in her free time. Please join me in welcoming the controller at YKK, Miss Lori Baker. And yes, YKK, every zipper you have on every piece of clothing that you make, that you own, she's in charge of making them. Finally, he is a proud graduate of Babson College, and since he graduated in 2011, he's been a business owner, a consultant, and continually gained more responsibility and oversight. His strategic vision and relentless execution have landed him at Hudson Materials Group, where he has served as president since 2019. Under his leadership, Hudson has achieved all-time records in revenue, gross profit, and net income. The best part and his biggest accomplishments are being loved and are being loving and a devoted husband and father to his wife, Liz, being a self-proclaimed girl dad to his 2 girls, Maggie and Millie, and their black lab, Max. Please join me in welcoming the president of Hudson Materials Group, Mr. Garrett Giles, or as we like to call him, the OG. All right, so this is going to be a Q&A discussion panel. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat. We'd love to see them. If we have time, we will absolutely get to those questions. I have some curated ones just in hopes to get you guys the best information possible about the program and our customers' experiences If we have some time at the end, we will go through your questions. If not, my commitment to you is to get you answers to your questions before the end of the week. All right, let's jump in. Our first question that I just love for you to lead us through and to just describe is, in your own words, would you please describe the Godlan Navigate program? Hasna, would you start?
Absolutely. And I just want to let you guys know that, I mean, Godlan is a pinnacle to the work that we have to accomplish at Cottrell, that I am actually driving from Montreal all the way to Chicago, and I wouldn't miss this event for the world. So there you go, Garrett. Let's start with that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
For me, the Godlan Assurance Program and the Navigate program, as opposed to what was previously in place, is it takes the let's basically do all of the fire, taking out the fires, as opposed to the let's make sure that, you know, we stay on top of things, we stay on top of the projects. That has taken us and the way that we do our business differently. Can you still hear me?
Yep, we can still hear you.
Okay. And we've actually managed to complete several projects just because of that personalization, if you will, through the Navigate program. Awesome.
That's great. I love it. Thanks, Hasna. Garrett, what about you? How would you describe the Godlan Navigate program?
Yeah, I think for us, we've been on Sightline for maybe three and a half years now. And for us, it has really allowed us to maximize our use of the system that's available to us. So, you know, one example of that is through Navigate. As we're using the system, we are able to look at ways to enhance and use the system to its full capabilities, and make these work packets out ahead instead of trying to come up with stuff on the fly. So for us, I think it's really helped us, you know, with customizations and different business cases that we can go over in a little bit. But for us, I think it's really allowed my team and I to maximize our use of the system.
Yeah, that's good. Lori, welcome in.
Hi.
If you're in a position to go on video, I would love it. But would you just, so at YKK Tapecraft, talk to me about the Navigate program. Could you describe just how you guys, what you see in it and how you utilize it?
Oh gosh. So we think that Navigate is perfect. That has been the perfect solution for us. So whatever we've thrown at Navigate, we're new to Sightline. So we still have lots of issues that we're trying to work out, and functions that we're learning about. So whatever we've thrown at the Navigate program, there's been a resource for us. So if we've wanted to do like Project X, our account manager can coordinate and find a resource and then get that contact for us. So we've utilized that many times.
That's good. That's good. So one of the things about the Navigate program is having that single point of contact, right? That solution success manager that's dedicated to your account, right? They own the relationship there. They own all the work that the backlog of work that might be done. How's your experience been with that so far, having the single point of contact? Laura, you mentioned a little bit. I'm going to come back to you right now and just say, how's it been having that single point of contact?
That's actually worked really well for us. We can go to that one person and say we don't get a call back from one of the resources. Then we go to our point of contact, and then that person that follows up, or they track down all the little bits of the project that's been handed off to Godlan, and we're not having to do that. So
Yeah.
that's been really good for us. It saves us time to have that coordinator.
That's good. That's good. You really feel like you have an advocate for your business to get the
Exactly.
work done, right?
Right. And they keep it on time, and they can rush
Love it.
things, whereas we can't do that.
Yeah, that's good. Garrett, what about you?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. We've had one of the things that we were working on through Navigate involved some pretty, and still involves some pretty heavy development from the Infor side of things. And so just when there's an issue like that, it's nice to have our dedicated resource already involved with our tickets that we open through Infor, and be able to communicate directly on our behalf to the developers at Infor, the customer support specialists at Infor, so that I don't have to spend my time kind of working through those things. Our dedicated resource through Navigate helps with that.
That's good. That's good. Hasna, anything to add on what your experience has been having a single point of contact, like really just managing all the services, little projects that you have going on at Cottrell?
Yes, actually, that single point of contact is critical to making sure that all of the projects that we have on hand either are properly being dispersed among the various consultants at different stages in the project, as well as making sure that we are using our time wisely every year and knowing where it's going. And the third thing is making sure that we have the appropriate consulting on kind of like in the back of our heads for the upcoming projects that are going to be coming up within the next month or two. So just that whole from start to finish is very critical, because it always has the potential of getting out from behind, from under your feet, if you will, if you don't have that person that's constantly making sure that you're staying on task.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's
good.
what we lacked, basically.
Yeah, it's good, right? It's that level of accountability, that advocate, the one who's going to help you ask the hard questions about what really should be a priority, the ability to change priorities week over week based on changes that happen within the business. So, question, before Navigate, how did you engage Godlan or other partners or Infor for continuous improvement, technology adoption, projects? What did that look like? Let's start with you, Garrett.
Yeah, so for us, it was, as I said, we're relatively new to Infor, only a few years now, but before it was kind of reactive. It was, oh my gosh, there's a problem or something isn't working right. Whether we opened a ticket with Infor or, we were a member of the quality assurance program before Navigate came out. And with those, it was just kind of a reactive. We had an issue, something wasn't working quite right. Now we got to go try to fix it. Whereas I think, Navigate is more of a proactive approach. And so we're out ahead of everything and doing new customizations and projects. And if we do have an issue, we can use Navigate to help get through that. So, yeah, and I like the fact on Navigate that through our weekly touch points with our dedicated resource, that I'm able to see, where is our money going for these hours that we bought? What did we do with those hours? What have we accomplished? Whereas before I felt kind of like we just pre-bought hours and then, maybe we used all of them, maybe we didn't. There was no real tracking to that point. So I think through Navigate, the one thing that I like a lot is knowing that I'm getting my money's worth, and we're accomplishing things that are going to enhance our business operations.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we're We're going to share a little bit about what it looks like as a customer in just a second here. But Lori, you were on Cymex for a while.
Yes.
We'll just call it a couple of years. What did it look like to engage in services activities for you with Godlan or other partners you worked with while you were on Cymex versus now?
Oh gosh. Well, when we were on Cymex, we had actually customized Cymex to the point where it no longer looked like it was green screen, but it really wasn't the Cymex product anymore. We had an in-house consultant that had been with the company for 28 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he had customized anytime somebody came up and said, hey, I want this, he would do it. And the drawback for that was it was a single person that we relied on. Yeah. He was the only person who had knowledge of that system. And we had put ourselves in a position to fail. Navigate has turned that around for us. With our implementation of Sightline, we just went live in July. But now, yay! Now we have visibility of the systems. We have more knowledge of what's going on in our business. And Navigate is allowing us to utilize these functions, be more effective in our business. And we didn't have that before.
That's good. I love it. Thank you. What about you, Hasna? How is Navigate? You talked about it a little earlier, but how is Navigate different than what you've done in the past?
I will second what Garrett said about hours. Where are those hours being consumed? How are they being consumed? That was a big one for us because we didn't know. And it's not because of lack of, either side. It was just everything was always, reactive. Here's a fire. We need to fight it right now. And let's move on to the next fire. But with Navigate, it's more of a proactive. So we know what's going to come if we go down a specific path. And oh, by the way, here's the hours that you have left. Would you like to use them for this or for that? Just the whole visibility and accountability is there in the new program.
That's good. Thank you. So we've heard proactive versus reactive. Let's just park for a second and talk about proactively. What are some of the projects that you've done through Navigate? Garrett, you want to go first?
Sure. It's kind of, I think one example of the proactive is, we kind of started out with maybe 3 or 4 smaller type projects. And what I've realized since we've been on Navigate is that as our business continues to grow and I come up with ideas or my team has ideas, what we're able to do is, I send our dedicated resource an email and say, hey, here's a future work packet that I want to tackle, in the next 6 months or something like that. But some of the things that we've been working on through Navigate are accepting credit cards as payment. So right now, we're really only set up for, ACH or checks and cash. So we're integrating a credit card payment processing through a Navigate. We're doing some IDM upgrades. So a lot of what we do is point of sale paperwork with bills of lading and paperwork. And so what we're doing is instead of having to print those, scan them, attach them to a customer order, we are setting it up where that all of that stuff automatically happens at the point of sale and gets stored in our documents. We are doing some enhancements to our bill of ladings, some search functionality, so we can go back or type in a trailer or a truck number or a plan or something like that, a customer order, and figure out, hey, what was the last product that was on this trailer? One of the big ones that we've recently had to get involved with was specific user group permission settings.
Okay.
We're a pretty small company. We only have about 20 to 25 people, but we have a variety of different groups that need to have different access in the system, right? We don't need a plant operator to be able to run a financial statement.
Right.
So what we've been doing is really kind of honing in on that and getting permissions in the system specific for each role or each group for our employees to have. Another thing that we've been working on is an auto draft payment processing to allow, certain discounts. If we auto draft a customer's account on 15 days, they get a discount. So there's
Nice.
just kind of a few of the things that we've been working on. So
That's awesome.
good.
That's awesome. Lori, what about you? You have some interesting projects in the Navigate backlog. Would you care to share?
We have big projects. Our projects are so big that our point of contact asked us just to limit them to 3 or 4.
Well, and I think that's a good point, right? The point with Navigate is really nothing's off limits, right? It can be a small little project that could take an hour or two. It could be a big project that takes 60, 70, 80 hours. The fact is that you have a team to support you to get those things done and do them on the timing that you want it to get done. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
That's fine. One of the things that we have that was a huge mistake on our part is that we continue to maintain a separate costing system from Sightline. And so one of our big projects, and this is like our biggest project within Navigate, is to move that into bill of materials directly into Sightline, so that everything that we are costing will be done directly in the system. And that way, all of the current pricing for our raw materials will roll up, and our salespeople can have visibility of what those current pricing, structures are when they're quoting to customers.
Totally.
Now, EPs in line. Now,
Yeah.
other things, our standalone, it averages the cost of some of the products, and you don't get true cost from that. So you don't really know what your true the profitability is. And, that's huge for us. Of course, for me, I'm controller, finance, and those things are important to me every day, especially when I have to answer for them.
Right.
And another thing that we're doing is we have a custom data collection for our inventory movements right now. And we are wanting to convert and use the factory track warehouse mobility. We have it, we just didn't implement it. Using the recommendation of the person who was here before, trying to do basically, I guess, shoehorned into the way he wanted to do it. And now we don't have to do that. And we want to use Sightline in the most efficient way with all the tools we have, and Navigate is helping us do that. But those are 2 huge projects.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for sharing. Hasna, when you think of some of the projects that you're working on or have worked on in the past, what are the top ones that come to mind that you've done through Navigate?
One of the biggest one is we did an integration with X Carrier. That was among the very first projects that we've done through Navigate. Just a little bit of a background. In 2022, we upgraded from 803.11 to Sightline 10, and we're still on-prem. We did that all in-house, so we had to take all of the heavy customizations that were sitting in 803, move them into 10, just because we didn't want to break the system.
Right.
So after we stabilized it, we started looking at all of our customizations, and the X Carrier actually, which was recommended by our Navigate, through our Navigate program, helped the warehouse and the employees to basically cut out 5 steps out of shipping,
Wow.
and they're shipping straight from Sightline into the system, and all the information is being fed back into Sightline, with the tracking numbers and everything for each and every one of those customer orders. Another great project that we did also, which we're still in the middle of completing, it's still work in progress, is we are going to be taking Infor.OS from on-prem into the cloud. So we're going to have that hybrid solution. And one of the things that when we moved to Sightline 10 is we didn't set up IDM correctly. So now, with the help of the Navigate system and with the help of the consultants, we are getting the benefit of that expertise so that we can set up our Infor.OS cloud instance IDM correctly according to the best business practices, as opposed to just hodgepodging it.
That's great. That's awesome. God, 5 steps out of that. Garrett, I saw you raise your hand. What do you got?
Yeah, I was just going to mention, so we are on version 10 on the cloud. And so one of the other things that we use the Navigate program for is we call it smokescreen testing. So every time Infor comes out with a monthly uplift, most times there's no major uplifts, but what we do is like Hasna said, is our system too has a lot of customized things in it. And so through Navigate, we're able to smoke screen as soon as the Infor sends out the update. We use our Navigate program to test all the functionality of all of our customized programs within the system to make sure that everything still works good and there's no glitches or anything after an uplift.
I love that. Yeah, that's part of the Navigate program on all the different levels that are available is that uplift support, right? We know that there's impact there, right? Upstream and downstream, if new functionality is released, and Infor's been good about releasing toggles and pretty decent documentation, but our team stays on top of it. And you're, like you heard from Garrett, on a month-over-month basis. That's one of the things that we do to make sure everything's working properly. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that. Okay, so we have 2 questions left, and this is where we're going to get to some visuals. So hang on here. What parts of the program, Hasna, I'm going to start with you. What parts of the program are most valuable to you and Cottrell?
That one point of contact and being able to just, call or email and getting that instant response. And if it's a fire, within like half an hour maximum, I have somebody on the line.
I love it.
That is instrumental. And it's actually saved us a couple of times. So
I love it. That's great. Lori, what about you? What are your favorite parts? What parts of the program are your favorite? What are most valuable to YKK?
To me, the most valuable part has been, and we've heard the word already, the expertise of the resources at Godlan. Because whatever it is that we can imagine that we want our system to do, our contact knows who to go to make that happen.
Yeah.
Or the person who can look at it and tell us if it's possible. And that right there is something that we haven't had before. Just to be able to kind of step back in a very objective way, because that's another thing that we're getting from the Navigate program is an objective person who is evaluating our system to say, does that make sense for you to make this change? Does this customization that you have make sense? Or should you use the system in the way that the system was intended? And so that's really, the things that we have found the most valuable and working in it for the last couple of months.
I love it. Thank you. All right, Garrett.
Yeah.
What about you?
Similar to Lori, I think Navigate has allowed me to work with my team on strategy, strategic business decisions, instead of constantly, trying to put out fires, if you will. But we're able to now think strategically and come up with ways of thinking like, hey, can the system do this? And then from there, we're able to use our resource to, they kind of make sure that we've got a good solid business case for wanting it and vetting it. But instead of just having a bunch of lists of things we want to do, Navigate really pushes those and tracks them so that instead of just having a list that some stuff may not get done, we're able to track it and actually implement a lot of these upgrades to our system that allow us to run our business more efficiently. So that's to me the biggest benefit of Navigate is it frees up my time to work with my team to think strategically about how can we better use the system to improve our business operations.
That's good. That's good.
And track it. Being able to track
tracking's huge, right?
Our big thing, in my position is what's the ROI, right?
Yep.
So if we're going to be making this investment, I need to have visuals and feedback to give myself a comfort level that, hey, we're spending this money on this, but here's how it's impacting our business.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually during one of our calls, Garrett, you gave me an awesome suggestion. On a monthly basis, we send out our consultant activity reports, right? Where we take, here's all the stuff that we worked on last month. Here's what's in the backlog. Here's the priority that it's in. When we meet next week, like if we need to change anything, here it is. And we sent that out all via email. Well, Garrett had a really great idea that it would be a lot better if we did it via video. And so we started down that road. Great feedback. We're here wanting to make this an amazing program for our customers. And so we took that feedback and we've been kind of iterating on the video thing. And just this last week, we launched out our customer dashboards. So check this out. Now, what you should see is a dashboard. Can you all see a dashboard?
Yes.
So this is what we go through every month. Our customers are going to get a video walkthrough of here's what happened, right? We have your year-to-date hours consumed. Garrett and Hudson didn't start actually until Q2, so there's no hours in Q1, but you can see what they've been doing quarter over quarter. We have last month's activity by task, and we can drill into that to see what it is and come back to it. We can see the work type, the hours by work type, whether it's application, technical, development, who did it, what's going on in the current month, right? Hours by work type, again, who's doing the work. And then we can see how many hours are in the backlog of activity that we have. And we will take, and our solution success managers will take and walk through these metrics each and every month, giving you a recap. So not only do you have it, but you can share it internally so that everybody can see the value that you're getting. That's great. All right.
And to that end, Garrett, I'll just give you another good example is, I don't know if you caught it there, but we're actually, we've actually used all of our hours. And so our dedicated resource reached right out to me and said, hey, here's where we're at with our hours. It's my recommendation that we hold off for the rest of this month and consume those hours, finish up, use them in the next month's period. So there is a lot of good, having that dedicated resource allows open communication for things like that, and if I wanted to, if I felt it was an urgent need, I could have said, no, that's fine. I wanted to get it done before the end of the month, use the hours. But like you said, that dedicated resource is really an advocate for you as the customer.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Part of the program is a monthly allotment of hours that we work at consuming. But we always have the ability, if we need to, based on urgency, level of importance, to go into what we call extended hours. The folks that are the solution success managers are consultants that have been with us 20, 30 years. And really, we've just found this beautiful sweet spot where they're not on the road every week. They get to add tremendous value to our customers and really get a breath of fresh air breathed right into their career. So it's been a lot of fun. I know from our team, the Navigate team, they're really enjoying it, working with our customers in this capacity. Okay, so last question here. If you were going to tell another customer, we have some customers that are going to watch this, watch the recording. We have some customers that are live here. But if you're going to tell another customer one thing about the Navigate program, what would you tell them? Lori, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I would say if you want maximum functionality from your system and you want it as efficient and effective as possible for your business application, then this is the program for you. Is you will have an objective, I would say an advocate really, that will work on your behalf to make you successful. Because it seems that Godlan really wants you to succeed. They become your business partner. And that has been really important for us. And I would say that, you know, if that's what you want in your business, then this is the program that you want to sign up for.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Garrett.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it any better than Lori did. You know, I would just add that from our experience, it's been well worth it. You know, we always try to run our business and improve our customers' experience. And so through Navigate, we are able to accomplish that by making these upgrades and having that support to whether that's getting invoices to customers or BOLs automatically emailed to the customer, you know, you name it. We're trying to make the customer experience as smooth and seamless as possible. So in addition to everything that Lori said in terms of maximizing the use of the system, it's been well worth it for us to have it.
Awesome. All right, Hasna, if you're going to tell another customer one thing about Navigate, what would you say?
I would say, if your business values, you know, constantly being in the know of all of the different features that Sightline or Factory Track or whatever Infor product out there has to offer with each and every one of those upgrades that they do and uplifts, you have to have the Navigate program, because not only do you get their expertise, but you also get to know what's new, what's upcoming, that as, you know, being in the IT business, we don't have time to go in there and actually check out every little, you know, feature that they have. And one specific feature can save your business customization. It could save your business time, just because it's a new process that, you know, without somebody saying, hey, the new uplift has this, that, and the other, you would never know.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. That's awesome. You guys, this was great. I do have a question from the attendees. So panelists, to you, do you have internal IT teams, i.e. developers, database specialists, or is Navigate supporting finance and admin like the internal owners of Sightline? What's that setup look like?
Who do you want to go, Garrett? Lori?
Garrett, you start. You go ahead.
So we do not have an internal IT department. Like I said, we're 20 people, 20 to 25 employees across the board. We do have an outside IT support. So we have utilized that resource in conjunction with our Navigate program and our dedicated resource and their developers for things like we have integrated truck scales. So our Infor IDM system had to, speak through the IP addresses, and we have different printers at different locations. So we've kind of done it that way, but we do not have in-house IT. And really for everything Infor, we're using Navigate for.
Awesome. How about you, Lori? Little different setup at YKK. So talk to us about it.
Yes. So for our facility, we have one IT support specialist, and that person sets up new computers, works on printers, your basic kind of, support, admin support, role. For any network issues, we go to our headquarters, which is over in Marietta. So they will help us take care of things like that. And that also installations of networking equipment. For development, Navigate. We depend on Godlan for all development since we've gone into Sightline.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hasna, what about you? What does the IT landscape look like at Cottrell?
So IT at Cottrell, we have two divisions, if you will. We have our infrastructure and networking team, and we have our development team. Development team work Sightline all day, every day. We are the ones who actually put in all the customizations in 803, and now we are the ones who are trying to take out all of the customizations and taking advantage of all of the features that Sightline 10 has to offer, and that is in conjunction with the Navigate program and all of the subject matter experts that we deal with on, if not a day-to-day basis, a week-to-week basis with all of the consultants.
Awesome. Thank you. That's fantastic. Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you joining me and just being able to walk through some of the questions that we have. Attendees, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for joining us. We hope that this session has provided some insights into really the investment that Godlan's making into serving you better. That's what this is about. Our vision statement is Godlan, where amazing happens every day. And we are working diligently to put not only our resources financially and with people, but the programs that we create behind that, with amazing as our foundation. So hopefully you heard that from our customers. We're working really hard at it, staying agile and customer focused. It's critical. It's something that we absolutely have to do. It's one of the main reasons that I was brought over to Godlan and that I'm so excited to be here, because there's so much that we can do. Our customer relationships by and large are really good, but we can make them amazing, right? And we're not going to let good be the enemy of amazing. If you have questions or you want to learn more, you can reach out to me. You can go to godlan.com/navigate. My email is just Garrett with 2 T's, Kramer like Seinfeld @godlan.com. And we can help you answer whatever questions that you have. Thanks for being here. Have an incredible day, and we'll talk to you soon.